Today we're going to approximate the measures of quantities, particularly length, weight, mass, volume, time, angle, temperature, and rate, and convert measurements from one unit to another in both metric and English systems, and solve problems involving conversion of units of measurement. So we're going to talk about measuring quantities or measurement. Measurement is a number that characterize an object or event which can be compared with other objects or event. You use basic unit of measure for length, time, weight or mass, electric current, volume, angles, temperature, and rate. There are two systems of measures, the metric system or the International System of Units or the SI, and the English system. Most countries, including the Philippines, use the SI unit of measure. So here is the table for us to be shown of the commonly used units of measure for different quantities. For example, if it is quantity of length, the metric system uses meter, the millimeter, centimeter, meter, and kilometer, while for the English system it uses inch, foot, yard, and mile. For volume, it's cubic centimeter, cubic meter, or this should be meter cube, cm cube. So for English system, it's cubic inch, cubic foot, and cubic yard. For mass, it's gram, kilogram. For metric. For English, it's ounce, ton, and pound. For temperature, it's Kelvin or degree Celsius. For English, it's degree Fahrenheit. For time, it's second. They are just the same, second, minute, and hour. For capacity, it's milliliter, liter, fluid ounce, and pint gallon. For angle, it's degree radian and degree radian. They are the same, degree and radian. So that is the comparison between metric and English. For Philippines, we usually use meter. If I'm right, for the United States, they prefer the English system. So for learning task 1, we're going to identify the appropriate unit of measure that can be used to the following quantities. For example, if we are going to measure the table of how long is the table, we usually use here in the Philippines meter. Kasi table siya, so it's meter. We're not going to use centimeter because it's too small. For centimeter, hindi siya appropriate. For kilometer, hindi rin siya appropriate ang kilometers kasi ang kilometer usually is on the long distances o yung masyado ng mahaba. For handkerchief, we could use cm or centimeter. For ice cream, we sometimes use liter. There are sometimes we use also sometimes gallon for ice cream. So you may answer, for you may practice for the other numbers. We're going to start with the first quantity, which is length. Length for length describes how long a physical quantity is. It includes distance, height, depth, and the like. In previous page, you see the different units of measures: the meter, the centimeter, the kilometer, and measuring the length. The smallest unit of measurement for length is millimeter. Usually that's the smallest, but there are actually smaller than millimeter. And the biggest unit to measure is kilometer. The biggest unit to measure for length is kilometer, but there are other units for measuring. Example is the light years. The light years for distances between planets. Length is used to determine perimeter in the area of other geometric figures. The basic instrument used in measuring length is a ruler. It has 4 units of measures: the millimeter, which they usually the small line, the centimeter, which is usually the where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is found in the ruler, yung medyo maliit lang na parang kalaki lang siya ng thumb. For the inches, it's yung malaki doon sa ruler. Usually itong sa baba ng ruler, yung mga malalaking agwat, yun siya ang inches. At tapos yung one ruler is usually 1 foot. Meter stick is used to measure longer lengths, like measuring the floor of your house, the distance between the floor and the ceiling, and many more. In English system, yardstick is used. Distance from one town to another is measured by kilometers, or for the metric system, and for the English system, it's miles. The instrument used is odometer. one unit of measure can be expressed in another unit of measure. It can be from smaller to bigger unit and vice versa, or from metric unit to English unit of measure and vice versa. The table below shows the equivalent measure of one unit to measure, since it is the basic unit of measure in metric system. This is for meter, 1 unit to meter. So the example, this is a millimeter, that's 0.01 meter. For centimeter, that's 0.01 meter. For decimeter, that's 0.1 meter. Decameter is 1 decameter is 10 meters. For hectometer, 1 hectometer is 100 meters, and for 1 kilometer it's 1000 meters. Kilo, it's for 1000. Milli is 0.001. For in here, if we're going to convert, for example, from kilometer to decameter, what we're going to do is, if for one step, 1 unit, it means that we're going to multiply it by 10 to the power of the number of steps for n. Every step should be divided by 10 if it is in here, but if it is going to the right, every step should be multiplied by 10. So if 1, 2, so how many 10? 1, 2, 2, 10. So that's, or 2 zeros, just add 2 zeros. So it means that you multiply mo yung given by 100, so that you're going to get the conversion. For another example, from cm to meter, kapag i-convert mo from cm to meter, so from here, so kung dito siya sa baba, ibig sabihin, i-divide mo siya by 1, 2, dalawang 0, so it's 100. So i-divide mo yung given by 100, so that it would be converted to meter from centimeter. For example, convert 3 kilometers to AM and BCM. Given the 3 kilometers to be converted to smaller unit, hence you multiply by powers of 10. Since meter is 3 steps from kilometer, so from kilometer to meter, so ito muna, 1, 2, 3. So galing siya kilometer to meter, kasi letter A is 3 km to m. So 1, 2, 3. So ibig sabihin 3 times 1,000. So ibig sabihin the answer is 3,000 meters. For number or letter B, 3 km to centimeter, it's how many steps? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Ibig sabihin ng 3 times mo by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 300,000 cm. For 3 kilometers, so just multiply by 1,000, that's 3,000 meter. Convert, number 2, convert 560,000 cm to decameter. So from cm to decameter, so it's letter A, cm to dam. So cm to dam, 1, 2, 3 sa baba. So it's divide by 1, tatlong 0, kasi tatlong steps, 1, 2, 3. So cancel mo lang yung tatlong 0. 560 divided by 1, it's 560 decameter. For letter B, 560,000 cm to km. That's cm to km. So from cm, here is cm. How many steps? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 na steps. Ibig sabihin, 5 rin na 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cancel mo yung limang 5. Ang natira na lang, it's 56. So that's 56 km. So next is, sorry for that, apat lang pala na 0. So apat lang na 0. So cancel mo yung apat na 0. Cancel mo yung apat na 0. So 56 divided by 10, it's 5.6. Sorry for the mistake. Next, we're going to convert from metric to SI. So iba naman siya. So number 3, the length of a rectangular is 12 meter and the width is 550 centimeter. So Sorry for that. Mamaya pa pala yun. Find the perimeter and the area. So, ang given is 12 meter. Tapos, the length, which is the length, and the width is 550 cm. So, ang given is ang isa meter, ang isa cm. So, the first thing we're going to do is to decide if what measure are we going to use. Is it meter or cm? We could use centimeter, but in here, in example, what they use is meter. So, we're going to use meter. So, ang una mong gagawin, just copy. So, ang 550 cm, gawin mong meter. So, gawin mong meter to ang centimeter, gawin mong meter, 1, 2. So, pabalik siya doon ng dalawa. So, it means that divide by 100. So, 550 divided by 100, it's cancel. 55 divided by 10 is 5.5. So 5.5, ibig sabihin that's ang 550 cm, it's equal to 5.5. So W is 5.5 meter. So the perimeter, the formula is 2 plus 2W. So 2 times 12 plus 2 times 5.5, which is equal to 2 times 12, 24. 2 times 5.5, that's 11. Tapos i-plus mo lang sila dalawa, the answer is 35. Next is for the area, it's simply length times width. So length is 12 times mo lang na width na 5.5. So ibig sabihin, 12 times 5.5 is 66 meter squared or square meter. So that's for problems involving length. Ngayon naman, we're going to convert from English to meter or vice versa. So what we're going to do here is the table given. So this is what you're going to do. From inches, kung ang given is from inches to centimeter, ang gagawin mo lang is to multiply it by 2.54 kasi ang 1 inches is equal to 2.54 centimeter. For foot naman, to cm, 30.5. So, ito lang gagawin mo. Halimbawa kung from meter to inches, it's multiplied by 39.4 kasi ang 1 meter is 39.4 inches. So, to make us understand it better, there is an example. What is 4.2 inches in centimeter? So, inches, from inches to centimeter, so ang gagawin lang is times by 2.54. So, ang given is 4.2. I-times mo lang by 2.54, which is equal to 10.67. 10.67 centimeters. For what is 10.5 meter in yard? So, from meter, gawin mong yard. So, meter, gawin mong yard. So, ang gagawin mo is multiply by 1.1. So, ang 10.5 times mo lang by 1.1. So, ang answer dyan is 11.55 yards. So, 3 yards of ribbon will be cut into 7 equal pieces. How long in centimeters is each piece? So, what we're going to do is to convert 3 yards to centimeter. So, there are 2 ways you could do that. Pwede mo itong 3 yards of ribbon, i-divide mo by 7, tapos i-times mo lang by a yard to centimeter. Or in here, ang ginawa nyo muna is yung 3 yards, kinonvert nyo muna sa centimeter. So, yard to centimeter. So, yard to centimeter, it's times 90. So, ang 3, i-times mo lang by 90. So, yards to centimeter, that's 90. So, pero dito, ang ginawa, it's 1 yard is 91.4 centimeter. So, instead, it's multiplied by 91.4. So, instead of 90, it's 91.4. So, 91.4, 274.2 centimeter. Tapos, pagkatapos nag-convert, dinivide siya by 7 kasi hatiin mo daw siya sa 7 equal pieces. So, 274.2 divided by 7, that's 39.17 centimeters per piece. That's for less. So, we'll proceed with volume and capacity. Volume and capacity talks about the measure of how much amount of space is occupied by a three-dimensional figure. So, the capacity is the amount contained in a three-dimensional figure. So, amount contained. So, for example, ito siya. This is a box. Kung lagyan mo na siya ng water, yung amount ng water, that's for the volume. So volume can be measured using SI units like cubic meter for solid, which is also the basic unit for volume. Other units of measure is liter for liquid, which is equivalent to 1000 cubic centimeters. For English system, gallons, pints, or fluid ounce are used to measure the capacity of liquid contained in the three-dimensional figures. For here in the Philippines, we usually use meter cube and liter. Kapag sa water, cubic meter usually ang ginagamit. The illustration at the right is a cube whose edge measures 10 centimeters. The volume of the cube is 1000 centimeter cube or cc, cubic centimeter, because what they do is the volume is length times width times height, so 10 times 10 times 10, that's 1000. So the volume here is 1000 centimeter cube or 1 liter. So 1000 centimeter cube is also equivalent to 1 liter. That's for the volume and capacity. So for example, your water consumption is measured in cubic centimeter. So or cubic meter. You can verify it through your water bill. For larger capacity, this cubic meter is used. Smaller capacity is measured using milliliter, which is commonly used for liquid medicine prescription. So smaller capacity is usually milliliter. For the conversion table for volume, it's kapag ang given is cubic kilometer cube or cubic kilometer, what you're going to do is multiply by 10 to the power or 10 to the power of 9 meters. So for cubic meter, it's equal to 1000 liter. For cubic hectometer, that's equivalent to 10 to the 6 meter cube or 10 to the 9 meter cube. This is the equivalent for from here and here. So what we're going to do, first example, we're going to convert 8 meter cube to millimeter cube. So meter cube to millimeter, what we're going to do is divide or multiply. So since the conversion is from bigger unit to smaller unit, so in here, you have to multiply every step by 10 to the power of 3. So kasi from bigger siya, mas malaki kasi 'di ba ang meter cube to millimeter. So instead for example in here, 8 meter cube to millimeter kasi malaki to maliit, so times. So times mo siya by 10 to the power of, kasi negative siya, so gawin mo siyang positive kasi times. So 10 to the power of 9. So 10 to the power of 9, it's equivalent to 8 times 10 to the power of 9 cubic millimeter. So this should be on the exponent. For in here naman, galing siya sa maliit, patungo siya sa malaki. So what we're going to do is divide. Divide ba siya by 10 to the power of 15. So 10 to the power of 15 kasi it's from centimeter to kilometers. Kilometer, isang 3, dalawang 3, apat na 3, limang 3. So 5 times 3 is 15. So what we're going to do is bawat by 3 yan siya. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So by 5, by 3, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So 10 to the power of 15. Kasi mas maliit sa centimeter to kilometer, what you're going to do is divide. Pero from big to small, it's times big to small. Tapos kung small to big, it's divide. Sorry, I really got confused. Ito siya from small to big. So this is divide. From big to small, kasi mas malaki si kilometer to meter, that's times. Tama pala yung una. Again, sorry for that. Mauna si kapag big to small, that's times. Kapag small to big, that's divide. For another example, the rectangular prism measures 0.054 meter in length. The height is 5 centimeter and the width is 42 millimeter. What is the volume of the prism in cubic centimeter, and how many liters of liquid can it hold? So the given is 0.054 meter. Tapos the height is 5 cm and the width is 42 millimeter. Tapos ang tinatanong is cubic centimeter. So ang itong meter, gawin muna nating centimeter. So what we're going to do is multiply by 10 to the power of 2 or 100 kasi 'di ba from one there are two steps actually from meter to centimeter, so it times mo by 10 to the power of 2 which is equal to 5.4 centimeters. So next, to get the volume, what we're going to do is ibig sabihin this is 5.4 cm. To get the volume, what we're going to do is length times width times height. So, i-times mo lang itong tatlo. The answer is 113.4 centimeter cube. So, you could try that in the calculator. Tapos, itong from conversion naman from cm cube to cc or cm cube to liter. What we're going to do is, di ba, ang 1 centiliter. Sorry for that. Since 1 cubic centimeter is equal to 0.01 liter, or ang 1 liter is equal to 1,000 cubic centimeter. So what we're going to do is about 113.4 centimeter cube. So, i-times mo yan siya by, and this is another way of conversion. So, para makancel siya, ilagay mo siya sa baba, tapos si liter sa taas kasi we're asked of liter. So, ang 1 liter is 1,000 centimeter cube. So, 1 liter, 1,000. So, what we're going to do is multiply 113 times 1. Cancel muna natin tong cm cube para matira na lang si liter. I-multiply mo ito na nasa taas. Tapos i-divide mo by 1,000. Ang answer dyan is 0.1134 liter. So, ito, 113.4 times 1 divided by 1,000, it's 0.1134 liter. For another table for conversion from teaspoon to millimeter, so what we're going to do here is kapag teaspoon to milliliter, multiply mo lang by 5. For example, how many liters is 16 cups of milk? So, hanapin mo from cup to liter. Kasi ang given is cups. Convert mo siya to liter. So, cup to liter, it's multiplied by 0.28. So, ang 16, it times mo lang by 0.28, which is equal to 4.48 liters. Number 2, a bottle of cough syrup contains 5 fluid ounce. If you're going to drink the medicine and the doctor prescribed 5 milliliter 3 times a day, how many days you're going to drink the 1 bottle of medicine? So, ang una mong gagawin, itong 5 fluid ounce, i-convert mo siya to milliliter. So, convert that, you're going to multiply it by 30. So, according to the table, from fluid ounce to millimeter, multiply by 30. So, i-times mo itong given by 30. 5 times 30, which is equal to 150 milliliter. So, after that one, because you're going to drink only 5 ml, so, ibig sabihin, i-divide mo ito by 5. So, i-divide mo by 5, that's 150 divided by 5, it's 30. Tapos, every day, 3 times a day ka iinom. So, divide mo by 3 para malaman mo it's 10 days. So, that's, ibig sabihin, 10 days mo lang maiinom yung isang bottle. The next one we're going to discuss is mass. Dito naman sa mass is the measure of amount of a matter in a substance of or an object. The basic SI unit for mass is the kilogram, but smaller masses may be measured in grams. For a great amount of mass, the unit to measure is ton. To measure the mass, you would use a balance or a weighing scale. Weighing scales can be in different forms according to its use. There are weighing scales intended for kitchen use, for market, and some for heavy weight. The table below shows the metric unit of measurement and its equivalent in grams for almost the same with the meter. Instead of meter, yung pinalit lang is gram. So millimeter kanina. So now it's milligram, centigram, gram, and kilogram. Ibig sabihin ng kilo, it's 1,000. Milli, it's 0.01. So this almost the same process times 10. Kung papunta doon, divided by 10. So every cupcake needs 2,250 milligrams of flour. How many grams of flour is needed for 12 cupcakes? So ang gagawin mo muna, i-convert mo muna itong milligrams to grams kasi grams ang hinahanap. So 2,250 milligrams to grams from milligram to gram. So 1, 2, 3. So ang 2,250 divide mo by 1, 2, 3, that's 2.25. So that's 2.25 tapos 12 cupcakes. Sa isang cupcake, 2.25. So i-multiply mo ito by 12. So the answer is 27 grams of flour. Next, in your village, the garbage collector collects 980 kilograms of garbage every day. How many metric ton of garbage in 30 days can they collect? So, what we're going to do is yung 980 kilograms is gawin mong ton. Kasi di ba ang hinahanap is how many metric ton. So, metric ton, it's 1,000 kilogram. Or, so in your village, it's from 1 metric ton is equal to 1,000 kilograms. Para hindi ka rin ma-confuse, ganito rin ang gagawin mo. So, just like me, I got confused. So, if you don't want to be confused, itong gagawin. So, 980 kilogram times mo. So, kilogram sa baba para makancel. Tapos ton sa taas or metric ton. So, MT or ton na lang. So, ton. So, 40. So, dito, ang 1 ton is 1,000 kilogram. So, 1,000 kilogram, 980 times 1, it's 980 divided by 1,000. So, 980 divided by 1,000, that's 0.98. So, ibig sabihin, it's 0.98. So, 0.98 tons. So, how many days? Every day, it's 0.98 tons. So, just multiply it by 30 kasi 30 days ang sa question. So, the answer is 29.4 tons of garbage.